just so you know, we have T-minus 1 hour. So that means- Is that the Ghostbusters theme song?
Stranger Things. If I was from England, it would be, oh damn, those
Stranger Things.
I need a new phone.
Oh
dude.
man,
this thing's got so many.
I love how Nigel's like, yeah, we started recording the. Oh, I gotta come in the shot because I can't.
You gotta
look back.
what?
I gotta come in the shot. That's gonna be the start. I gotta come in the shot, buddy.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mama's Boys Podcast, the absolute worst podcast on the entire planet. We appreciate you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating and review.
And also, we just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Kaizen Training. That's something both myself, Silent Mike, and our friend Bart Kwan created to try and cater to everyone's fitness needs. Whether your goal is to lose weight, build muscle, or get stronger, we got your programs. Go to kaizentraining.com. Let's get this first podcast started. We're here in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
On location
At the Arnold. This is the first time I've been at the Arnold. Okay.
Let's start it off with your best Arnold.
The best, get out of here. What would you give me? What do you give me out of 10? Come on. Nigel, what do you give me out of 10?
5.
That's average. I'll take it.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
It's like so bad. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Everyone's just my favorite is Kindergarten Cop, where he yells,
"You're the body pooper."
Where he says, "It's not a tumor." When he says that,
"You're the body pooper."
Oh man, Arnold's his movies are in a category in and of themselves. Where I got to give a quick shout out. You've seen Die Hard, right? Bruce Willis, original classic.
No,
ooh.
I know. There's so many movies that you're gonna.
Well, he ushered in, I feel, the new age of action where he was the everyman. He was relatable. He could actually act, and I'm not insulting Arnold when I say that. But Arnold, his movies were basically a vehicle for himself.
Yeah,
where like all his one-liners, where he's like he's dead tired. Like they're all very funny, but they exist in their own universe. It's almost like a quasi surreal world.
I went through an era, and I might have talked to you about this because you're a big 80s guy.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a 90s because we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
But there was a time period probably from 1999 up until probably last year or the year before where something with my mind wouldn't allow me to watch older films.
What is that? Because like
no idea.
And when you say older films, just classify that, Mike. Because,
80s,
okay.
89 and behind. Anything that looked old, I was just like, if I had seen it,
then
Ghostbusters, Star Wars, I could rewatch. Yeah. But anything like Die Hard, I never watched when I was a kid. So then as an adult, I was like, now I'm a little bit over that, so I could probably do it.
Now, let me ask you, you said, so that's your classification old. I still say that's the modern era.
Oh, 100%.
What about so I'm in a black and white, like my favorite director is Akira Kurosawa, the greatest of all time. But I also like silent movies, like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is one of my top movies. Charlie Chaplin's my man.
I know who he is.
If you were to watch that, like you're just saying, there's something in your brain that shuts off. Because I've heard this before. Like there's a buddy of ours, when he referred to, I'm a big jazz head. And I said, listen to some jazz. And he said, I can't listen to that music. It just sounds dated. Not even the compositions he's talking the recording technique. So is it the storytelling itself, or is it stylistically, obviously, the way it's shot, the fact that it's black and white? What is the thing that throws you out?
So I've seen a lot of old movies too. Maybe not silent movies, but my mom went through a phase when we were kids. My mom was a teacher, so she had summers off with us, which was cool. Like we wouldn't really vacation per se, but she would have time to spend with us all summer. And we went through a thing where every week she rented a Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Oh, yeah.
And we watched it one summer.
Hitchcock's fantastic.
And so I liked those okay, but I didn't really like them. I was too young, I think. I was
to
sixth
appreciate
grade.
them. Like, what, did you watch like Psycho and stuff?
Everything pretty much but Psycho, I think. Yeah, Birds and all that.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's more probably a stylistic thing, not even the story. Literally just how it looks. You can just see in the colors are faded, like whatever. I'm like, I don't know. But I'm over it now.
And it's okay. And because I was thinking maybe it was the way people talk, because there's that old Hollywood veneer. I also like a lot of foreign movies, but if you look at Hollywood in the 30s and the 40s, they kind of have that transatlantic way of speaking when they'll say like, oh, wow, like, what way are we going here for? Like just the way, and you're like, nobody talks like this. So I could understand some of the reservations.
Yeah.
I think they're just kind of the frills, and the meat of what's underneath is still phenomenal, and arguably some of the best.
I think my more issue was actually not even that era. It was more 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Because it was stuff stuck in between. Like, no, these guys aren't old, but why do they look old?
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like that. Where at 40s, you're going into it knowing what you're getting. I think when it was year 2000 per se, and I tried to watch an 88 movie, I was like, this just feels, I guess outdated. Where now maybe I could look back and be like, no, this is the 80s, and like take it for what it is.
And it's a decade. I find it wild too, the internet era where everything's now kind of blending. Everything old is new again. Where if you look at the 80s, you could break it apart in a few different categories, but there's a distinct style. The 90s, right, where there's also a distinct style. We're talking about big hair. I want to transition just quickly. There's a million things we could talk about.
Yeah, I have a transition too. Go ahead.
I want to talk, bro, because we're talking about the 80s. I want to talk about Stranger Things. I want to talk. This podcast is a podcast about friendship.
We need to get one of the Stranger Things homies on this thing.
Oh, who would you want?
I don't know.
I gotta put it this way. Steve Harrington is he's the single mother everybody needs. He's the older guy that was dating. What's the girl that's the older sister of Mike? He's the guy that has the hair with the baseball bat that's just like killing shit in Stranger Things. Yeah.
The main boyfriend.
Yeah. Who basically gives up his girl to Jonathan. Like he just starts defending the kids. It's great. And then he looks after Dustin.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
I think Dustin would probably be the best.
Oh, Dustin would be hilarious.
I think he'd be the best. I saw is his last name Sterling? I think
the real actor's name or the real actor? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. The black kid.
Okay.
He was in
the black kid.
He was in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game.
Okay.
And they interviewed him for a second.
They just threw him in there.
I guess he loves basketball.
Oh, okay.
I guess he loves basketball.
Just the way you set up that whole story.
Yeah, I don't know. It's how it goes.
They threw the black kid inside the basketball game. I'm like, all right.
And made money off him.
Yeah. What else is new?
No, his interview wasn't that good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I think it depends on context, time, and you know what I mean? Maybe. Like, you know us. Like, here I am. For those that are just listening to audio, I look like a reheated loaf of garbage. I look like the first guy to get his ass kicked in a Steven Seagal movie, where we just all had terrible sleep for a variety of different reasons. Well, we booked last minute, and so, Mike, bless your soul, you found us the best place. It is right across the street of the convention center.
We're in it.
I want to talk about friendship, though, for a second. Please do not change the topic because I want to say how I appreciate you. We're talking about 80s Stranger Things.
What is this, Valentine's Day?
Well, it's close, bro. It's everything rolled into one. It's my birthday. So what I was going to say is I gave Mike shit because Mike works with Reebok. And what happened, I saw Stranger Things, the kids on the show in the 80s. It was kind of a throwback to classic sneaker style. But they wrote their own designs on it, the Ghostbusters designs on.
They dressed up as Ghostbusters for Halloween.
Yeah.
And so all they had was white Reeboks. And to make the outfit for some reason, they drew ghosts on them.
And I said, this is so cool. I wish I could get a pair. Then Reebok goes and releases a pair. And I said, holy shit. Like, Mike, that's the pair that I want. You got connections. Like, let me get some. And he's like, all right, let me take a look. Immediately, they're sold out. So I now can't get these shoes.
I wanted them too.
And I was saying, Mike, like, dude, like, come on, man. Don't you have connections? I was giving him shit saying, I want these shoes. I'll pay you whatever. Like, just let me know. And so this went on for months and months and months.
I think they released probably, when did Stranger Things 2 come out? August?
September.
Yeah, so I think the sneaker came out probably in September, October.
Exactly. So it was about 6 months. And I was giving you shit like, you got no connections on Reebok.
True.
Mike walks in with the shit-eating grin on his face. And all of a sudden, he just gives me a box. He's like, here you go, buddy. Happy birthday. I open it up, and that's why they're on the table if you guys are watching the videos. These sneakers. You remembered, and I appreciate that, bro. And I think Stranger Things, actually, is a lot about friendship and the bonds we make, which, riffs off of Steven Spielberg. It riffs off a lot of 80s stuff like John Carpenter. It's about the relationships people form, the bonds that they have. It's very powerful.
Yeah, what's the movie? The Goonies. People talk about the Goonies being related to Stranger Things, and then also there's a movie.
The Goonies is a fantastic movie.
What is it? I think it's Steven Spielberg, and it's kind of based around the same time period. There's an alien coming down.
E.T.?
No, it's new.
A new one.
Yeah, new-ish.
What's new mean for you?
Within the last 5-10 years.
Is it the one with Tom Cruise?
No, I think it's just another group of maybe Tom. No,
what?
I think it's a group of kids again.
Oh, okay, no, you're thinking of a J.J. Abrams. The what's it called, Nigel?
It was based. He was trying to make a Spielberg-esque.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe you're right. But those kind of movies, whether they're good or not, happens to be Stranger Things is good. I love that kind of stuff. Like, like
coming of age stories are phenomenal.
Yeah, and just like adventure. Like when people are like heading other places for some reason, I even like that as a kid. Like it doesn't matter what shitty cartoon or show I was watching, but if they were kind of adventuring somewhere, like what's the Magic School Bus?
All Miss Frizzle. Yo, you see, bro,
405.
No, dude, it's not 405. So Miss Frizzle's a straight gangster. She was benching 4 reds. What are reds? Reds are 55 kilos. It's 484 pounds. She gave herself a self-unrack. Bench 484. Check it out.
What's up,
real.
Jen Thompson?
Bro, she's the real deal.
That's going to be the main conversation. We're about to have Jen Thompson, for those that don't know, one of my favorite lifters of all time. Benches 315 on the regular, 130-pound lady. Very nice. But
like a 2.5 times body weight bench press.
Yeah, we're going to see what she thinks about Miss Frizz.
Yeah, hey, I was going to say, Mike, I want you to name maybe your favorite or some of your favorite coming of age stories from the classic period. So let's say 80s and 90s. I got 2. The 2 I'm going to say probably, if I have to pick an 80s one, it would be Stand By Me. If I had to pick a 90s one, it would be Sandlot.
Sandlot's amazing.
Sandlot forever.
These are all like kind of coming to age, kind of not, but like, and they're a little bit different, but like Heavyweights, that's a 90s movie.
Dude, Heavyweights is great.
It's amazing. That's Ben Stiller. For those of everyone's seen Dodgeball and loves it.
That's the real Dodgeball.
It's the real Dodgeball.
Oh, bro, it's better than Dodgeball.
And he's the same character, and he's amazing in it. Especially now, if you're into fitness at all, it's even funnier because it's all kind of true if you know a little bit of the history of fitness. Sandlot's amazing.
You know what's weird about that, Mike, with Heavyweights, is that Heavyweights kind of, at that time, fitness was still a niche. They sold, info products, but his whole shtick was entirely accurate. But unless you worked in the industry, you probably were like, oh, this guy just seems crazy and out there. And meanwhile, we're in the fitness industry, and we're like, everyone's kind of like that, where they're duplicitous, where they just, and that's maybe something, I would say we're here at the Arnold, is staying true to yourself.
Yeah.
And the difference between some people that have an on-camera personality and an off-camera, whether you like us or not, or for this podcast.
Yeah, we're the same.
This is who we are. I look like a reheated loaf of garbage in person and on camera.
Yeah, there's a clip I stole from Heavyweights, put on my Instagram probably 2 years ago, and it didn't do that well. I thought it was hilarious, but it's exactly that. I think Ben Stiller's running into the hall to talk to the kids for the first time.
Oh my God.
And he's like, we got to redo that or something. And he runs back to make sure the camera's on him at a better angle or something.
Mike, that's so why we're homies. That scene is fucking comedic gold. Everyone out there, if you've not watched Heavyweights, because I don't know if it got a big release. Like maybe
I watched it on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
That's where I saw all these great movies. Sandlot, Little Giants.
Oh, yeah. I always have a bit of that.
I'm trying to think. Other stuff of that. Even like Ghostbusters, I think was probably on the Disney Channel at some point.
Ghostbusters is my jam.
I don't know if I've seen the other ones. I think I've only
Ghostbusters
seen one.
2?
Yeah.
Well, there's only 1, 2, and now the reboot. But the reboot.
Because I heard 2's good.
I mean, 2's kind of like, if they were to make a TV adaptation of the first one, that's kind of 2.
Same guys, though?
Yeah, so if you love the universe, so Wayne's World's another example. I love the first Wayne's World. Wayne's World 2,
you know what?
Obviously not nearly as good. Who? Wayne's World? Oh, Reebok.
Bro.
Oh my God.
I posted that on Instagram too. It's so funny.
That's such a seminal movie.
Yeah.
I love how it rips everything apart. Mike Myers, when people say like, that damn Hansel, he's so hot right now in the 90s, man. He every movie he made was just a hit. He did
he's
that.
Funny.
He did Austin Powers, 3 of them, and then he did Shrek.
There's a lot of amazing comedy. Shrek is fucking amazing. Shrek's such gold. But there's a lot of amazing comedies that happen kind of 80s and 90s, and I guess early 2000s. I feel like up until about 2003 or 4, it had the same vibe as the 90s, right? Because it's a transitional period.
Yeah.
But like the Adam Sandlers and obviously the Mike Myers and stuff like that. Some of those movies, I don't know if people, I guess I don't talk to teenagers, so I don't know if there's...
Yeah, it would be kind of weird if you just go up to 14 and 15-year-olds.
Well, I used to coach high school basketball, so I used to be like pretty generational, right? Where like I'd have relationships. I know what these kids were watching or what they were into or whatever. Now I'm the old guy that just hangs up on myself.
Hey there, buddy. Well, I was gonna, it's funny. Nigel's here, my buddy. He's here with us at the Arnold, and he's trying to hit me to some new music because I go to like I'm listening to like Charlie Parker from like 1940s, like bebop is like what's on my playlist. And he was telling me about Migos. Well, I don't even know who the artist is. Like I know that song, Bad and Bougie. The song, but he was trying to just inform me like what's going on.
Their first hit was "Knock That Pussy Out Like Fight Night."
Is that what it's called? Really?
I think it's called Fight Night. It says hit him with the left, hit him with the right, knock that pussy out like fight night.
Oh my God!
And they're right. I mean, they're right. They're talking to us. You know, like
they're talking to the people.
You don't want to love that pussy. You want to knock that pussy out like fight night.
This is the artist of the voice of this generation,
and they're right.
They're speaking universal truths since the time of Plato. Socrates and Aristotle trying to find the world of forms. Then we get Migos, and they're just dropping knowledge.
It's commonly talked about that like school teaches you a lot of things you don't need to know, right? Like why don't they teach us about taxes or investing?
You
or
don't
like
need to know about math.
Insurance. Why don't they do some basic math, some basic English, but you don't need all this stuff, right?
Or ethics. Like just like
some of that's good.
How to be a good citizen, I'd say like the reasons why.
But how much of this other garbage do you not need? Why the Migos are the voice that we need. They're talking about money, about strippers, about knocking pussy out like fight night.
Like, how many strip clubs have you been to?
Look, I've mentioned this in the public world. I've never been to a strip club in my life.
So
I have a long story if you want the long story.
Give me the long story. All I'll say before you go into the long story, I've been to several. And
I heard
so Windsor,
Canadian ones are a little different.
Well,
Windsor, a little handsy, I've heard.
Shout out to Cheetahs, which is the big one. So the thing is, like, you know, I went to university and I spent a lot of money, did a lot of things I shouldn't have done. I ended up, I had a full scholarship.
Yeah.
I had OSAP, which I didn't have to pay back. And
What is
I had
that?
a job.
What is that? What's OSAP?
So that it's like a student loan, but it's a student loan I didn't have to pay back.
And so it's for like food and living and stuff?
Dude, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
live with my aunt. I didn't have to pay for shit. I had a full scholarship.
Yeah.
They gave me money to go to schools with a student loan, and I had a job. And after 2 years, I still owed 10 grand.
Nice.
That's called cocaine.
That's called Cheetahs.
But that's called Cheetahs. What I was gonna say is Cheetahs was a huge, or is a huge, I don't know, it's been a while, strip club in Windsor, because Detroit, the American counterpart city, is right across just the river. And so a lot of Americans would come over, and so they'd get big acts. Anyways, I've been to a good amount of strip clubs. I just find them sad, honestly.
So I've heard multiple things. Some things you just hear, right, from a friend, and you don't know if it's true or not. So there's two things that are true, and I think it's all of America. If not, it's just maybe like Vegas and California. But 18 and up, strip club, full nude.
Yeah.
21 and up, topless only.
Oh, see, we're just 18 and over, I
Yeah,
think.
well, because if they sell alcohol here, they keep their panties on, I guess.
Right.
And then the other, those are true.
Yeah.
But what I've heard is that in Canada's, that the girls allow you to get a little handsy. Where here, like, you touch a girl and you're getting kicked out.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to a bunch, but the whole concept of paying someone to dance for me,
it's all really weird when you think about it.
Just turned me off. It's like, you should be paying me.
Yeah,
like,
for these eyes.
I'm dancing for you. No, let me dance for you, girl. You sit down. You've been working hard. Those heels look like they're uncomfortable. Let me get up and shake down.
Strip clubs are more animalistic than prostitution would be.
Why would you say that?
Because they're literally
it's like a spectacle. They're on stage.
Yeah,
it's like a piece of meat.
It's more degrading.
Yeah,
where someone else is like, it's just like buying a service. Like, you can go and get a massage. You can go pay $150 and you're fully naked and someone's rubbing your back.
Yeah.
Like, I find
instead of rubbing the back, you rub the dick, and it's like the same thing. Is that what you're saying? It's just a transaction.
Pretty much, it is just a service transaction.
It's another muscle.
And if it's kind of like the idea of like, oh, if all drugs are legal, there'll be less illegal drugs or less crime. Like, maybe, but I do think that prostitution being legal wouldn't hurt anybody if it was regulated.
Well, I think one of the good initiatives, I'm just going to give a shout out to Toronto. I think they're trying to pass. I'm not sure. Maybe Nigel would know. Is but safe places for drug users in case like they overdose just to get some of the
That's
drugs.
Called prison in America.
If you look at the rates, like there is opioid crisis that's going on. That's just insane. I was going to say Amsterdam, though. There are places where prostitution is legal.
Here in America, too, there's bunny ranches in Nevada, and I don't know how that's legal.
A bunny ranch?
I believe that's what it's called.
They call it a bunny ranch.
Well, that's what, Lamar Odom? So he was a LA Lakers and he dated the Kardashians.
Yeah,
that's where he overdosed or had a stroke.
Dead?
No, but he had a stroke or overdose, and it was at a prostitution place.
Yeah,
and again, like
bunny ranch,
that's legal, but it's only Nevada, and I think you have to be like 100 miles from a metropolitan area or something. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
but I don't know why it's not legal elsewhere. I honestly, and that's not even me like joking anymore. I do think strip clubs are more like weird and degrading than prostitution would be.
Yeah, I honestly never got the appeal, just because once again it's like you're paying this person to dance for you.
Yeah,
and I just feel like with them, it's like, well, wait a second. A, why would I be paying? B,
why don't we go to a club and just dance together?
Why
whatever?
Why can't we just dance? Okay,
so
or let me dance for you. I have no problems. I had a buddy. I'll just say quickly in Windsor that was a male stripper.
I'm not against it.
That stripped at a male stripper, and I will say it seems like the psyche because I knew him, and then I knew some female strippers, and I'm not making generalizations. But I think it's society's expectations and a lot of other things. But he seemed more well adjusted than they were. Maybe because of the degrading atmosphere. I think
that's what I think.
I think women would be more encouraging and accepting if you're in like you're a male stripper, and also like if there's dudes that are also watching.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it's probably a cleaner environment, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
I do think because there's it's a weird thing in our society. Because it's degrading, I think that like the people that end up there, or it's almost like last resort, so they might already be into some substances, or they might be doing prostitution on the side, or right. We talked to Kevin Oak, and who knows what's going right. He's all these pimp circles are running through the place he was that he was managing or whatever. So here's my stripper story. Turned 21. Two of my best friends are their birthdays are literally 2 weeks before mine. So we all turned 21 at the same time. We say, oh, Vegas trip, right? Typical dude thing to do. We go to Vegas, cool, we're having fun, we're gambling a little bit. Went to a show or two. We saw Circus Soleil, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, strip club it is. Never been. I was like, all right, I'm down. So my two best friends and one of their little brothers was there. I think he was 17 or 18 at the time. He might have been 17 with an 18 fake.
My man.
He didn't even have a 21 fake.
That's great.
So we go, we're like, all right, we're asking around, like, what's the best place? What's the best place? We get a limo service to the best place, trying to get in. It's
classic 21-year-old move.
Yeah. We're just looking like idiots, right? We're not a hair on my face. I'm probably dressed up, looking like a dick.
Hi there, mister.
100%.
Is this where the naked ladies dance?
I don't even know if I had cash in my pocket. I didn't even know what I was doing. Can
I tip you with my debit card?
Running through a crack. We're having some Chicago guys on later. We're about to act on. So we go in, and so he pulls out his fake 18-year-old ID. Can't get in. It's 21. Like, all right, and the place looked cool. You know, probably it's like Vegas strip club, which you would think. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. It was like whatever, $20 cover. Cool. Couldn't get in. We're like, well, we're not going to ditch him. So then our limo guy, basically a taxi,
knows a place, obviously.
He knows a place. He's like, I was like, all right, man. So we go, and it's like, now it's getting sketchy. We're getting further. You never been to Vegas?
Yeah. I went for the Olympia one time.
Did you go off the strip at all?
A little bit, but it gets real seedy real quick.
Yeah, the strip's nice, and it's all these lights and cameras and money and Ferraris, and then you go off the strip like 2 miles, and it's like, So we start going, and then he pulls up. It almost seems like a back door, and I'm like, And so all my homies run in. I think they're a little more drunk than I, and they say something like $75 or $100 cover. And I'm like, look, this place looks sketchy. I don't want to spend $100 just to get in. I was like, I think I'm cool.
What's going on there?
Yeah, just started getting a weird feeling. So then I was like, I'll catch you guys later. So I just booked it, grabbed a taxi back to the same driver back to the strip. And the guy starts being a little weird in the car.
Oh, man.
Like, hey, man, like, oh, that wasn't your kind of place? I know your kind of place.
Of course. Yeah, he's trying to make some money.
I'm like, no, bro, like, just the strip. Like, just bring me back to my hotel, wherever I was staying. And he, like, takes the longest way there. I'm like, I'm about to get, like, killed right now. Like, he's weaving. I was like, I know the strip's right here. Like, it's a mile to my left. Why are we going all these roads? Like, no, I know the place for you. I assumed he was going to take me, to some strip club that he gets a commission on, or prostitution or drug. I don't know. I'm 21. I'm scared shitless. Bro, take me back to the place. So then I just
take me back to my mom.
I grab a drink, and I just go back to my hotel room. Long story short, that was it. But then my buddies came back, and they dropped like $500. I'm like, that sounds terrible.
I wanted to know. It's like, I thought the punchline of the story was going to be like, and all my buddies got murdered. And so now, and I'm the only one. I knew, always trust your gut. You're right.
Yeah. They made it alive. One of them went to the boom boom room, or the private room. Dropped away because we all won at the slots the night night before, like $200 or something.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're like, and so they spent all that. I saved mine.
Big spender. This podcast, this episode is probably going to be called
"Prostitution Should Be Legal."
To save a stripper, girl, you're worth it. It's going to be the full title.
I think so.
Because honestly, I do. So I actually worked on a film briefly, just a small role.
Where's this going? Adult film?
It's going to get adult real quick. If you search Chef Buff, which was my original name on YouTube, you do it on YouTube instead. It's a Pornhub instead. You're going to see some things. Yeah,
you're cooking it up.
So I was going to say that one of my clients, he got into film. He was like this big CIO, but he wrote some novels and stuff that were decently received. He wanted to adapt one into a movie. Anyways, one of the scenes takes place in a strip club. And this is in a suburb of Toronto. So it's not like, if you have to rate the quality of the strip club, I'm going to give it like a 6 out of 10. But anyways, there's a scene, they needed an extra, and they needed one of the strippers. And so they got one of the strippers. And I was the bartender in the scene. In the movie. And I think it might be finally released. I'm not sure.
So you're in the strip club filming?
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So I'm the bartender, and so she's just like kind of the background eye candy.
Is that where that clip or picture comes up where you're shaking the margarita or whatever?
No, that was actually I was a bartender, and I was terrible.
You look amazing.
Dude, that's another story. I was wild. So what I was gonna say is she's in the back. She's like just dancing, and so between every single take, and I didn't know this obviously when it comes to movies, there's like 30 takes. So we're there for 2 hours. So I'm socializing with her, and I basically find out like her life story, and she was nice. But I'm like, oh man, like you got a kid, like
it's necessity. It's not job of like passion or to make money. Yeah.
So like, I'm just dancing, and you know, I'm going to school for acting or like all these ambitions. It kind of was like an end of the road. Like she was at the time maybe 28, has a kid. Also, I think there's like another situation. She basically needed a like strip for the cash, and it gave her the freedom of time to do what she wanted. But I asked her, I wasn't trying to be like that guy. I wasn't trying to pull a Drake like, hey girl, like, what are you trying to do like beyond this? But I was trying to get just a feel like, you know, trying to understand. And yeah, it actually just made me even more sad. I was like, oh man. All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a full ride to law school, you're not stripping or something, right? If you have other options.
Well, some people apparently do. I've heard like go through school, and it puts them through school. So there's not a generalized, but just once again, this is called "Girl, You're Worth It."
Yeah, I don't know that many strippers, so I don't really know.
Oh, really, Mike?
Yeah,
that's not what I heard.
They know me. I know male ones.
That's what I was gonna say. Todd, you ever watched the movie Boogie Nights?
No, but I watched the movie Magic Mike.
Oh, Magic Mike. What do you think of it?
Actually, wasn't that bad.
I didn't watch it. I heard that Channing Tatum actually used to be a male stripper.
I don't know, but he can. I've maybe heard that too, but he can definitely dance a little bit.
He can dance. He's a good dancer.
He can dance a little bit. I put on Instagram probably like 4 years ago when my following was fairly small. I said, yo, we get 10,000 likes on this thing, I'm going to redo a whole scene from Magic Mike. Oh and we got up to like, whatever, 7,000 or something. Yeah, but I didn't do it. I didn't get the 10,000. We should do it again.
You got to give incentives.
We should do it again, yeah.
We should do it?
Well, like post it again.
Okay, yeah, you should post it and I'll watch you.
You'll film it.
I'll be the CD guy in the back like, dance, boy,
You can be the director.
Yeah. More booty shaking, more booty popping. Mike, here's a question for you because you talked a little bit about like strippers and all those things and how you never went into. I feel like that story is one of those. What am I thinking? Bill Clinton, where he said, "I smoked, but I did not inhale."
Yeah.
We're like, all my buddies went to the strip club. I did not go in.
It's like it's cool kind of being older now, like just a little bit older. After I turned 25, I felt like I changed a little bit, or not at that point, but looking back, where like I would be so embarrassed to even tell that story. Like, no, bro, of course I've been to strip clubs, dude. Like I fucking run that shit. Like, you know, like a 21-year-old's not like pumped to tell him like, no, dude, I was too much of a bitch to walk out, but I'm old now and I don't care. Yeah, I was way too much of a bitch to go in there and I didn't want to spend the money, so I didn't.
Some people also just overshare because they want to act way cooler than they are. And that's when we talk about being real versus, putting on a persona. There's a lot of people we know, even on YouTube, that what they'll do through editing, they'll disguise kind of the lack of charisma or personality or substance behind the camera. It's almost, I'm a huge Van Halen fan. I actually also think David Lee Roth is a genius. If you read his autobiography, he's just a smart guy that thinks about things a lot. There's way more than meets the eye. But he said basically about Michael Jackson, it was a joke. He was just messing around. But he said all the choreography by some of these dancers and artists are to disguise like the lack of substance behind what's going on. And he was joking about Michael Jackson because obviously Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, like Thriller, Bad, all great albums.
Stuff.
But a lot of individuals that then rely on that choreography. And so when you pick it apart, like just the song itself or the singing ability, like I'll throw someone under the bus. Obviously, Britney Spears, like she can't sing, but it's the whole orchestration, the whole production. That's kind of like YouTube, where some people just don't have that personality, and so it's all smooth, slick editing.
I think every category you go into, whether it's YouTube, whether it's concerts and performing, whether it's music itself, I always, because people ask stuff all the time on Twitter or whatever, like, oh, name your top 3 rap groups or whatever. But like, there's so many different things we can judge them on, right? Like, I think Michael Jackson is one of the best performers of all time.
Sure.
Do I think he's one of the best singers? Nah.
Yeah, there's different categories.
Stevie Wonder. You go elsewhere, right?
Good choice,
my
man.
He's amazing. And I think Michael Jackson's a good singer. He's definitely not trash.
He's decent. He's decent.
But he's not Stevie Wonder, and he's not even Temptations or wherever you want to go. Aretha Franklin. You go these different areas. My man Bill Withers is probably my top.
Oh, wait, is it for you?
Just music in general, all of it, just style.
You just said Stevie Wonder, and I want to go off on a tangent and say Songs in the Key of Life is one of the greatest albums of all time. All time.
He's amazing. Did you see him in what's the guy's name? John Corbin or something? James Corbin?
Oh, dude. So
Stevie Wonder's so funny in that.
Man, he hits those semitones like no one else, which like if you look at like Eastern music, they have a lot of those tones that aren't in Western music.
Yeah.
And he naturally flows so well. And his head voice, which is his ability, you know, there's like falsetto, like Prince uses a falsetto a lot. He just sounds so strong, resonant, and the melodies are super accessible yet interesting. So like if you want to hear something that's a little bit deeper, he's got that. If you want to hear something that's just catchy, he's got that.
I didn't know he was so funny though.
Oh, he's Stevie?
Yeah. He's hilarious. He's like talking about, did you watch it?
I watched like the first 2 minutes where I think Superstition the first song? Where,
I don't remember the first song, but he's like, I think he gets in the car and
to drive.
He's in the driver's seat. And he's like, where are we going? And this and that. Just, I don't know, the whole time he's joking. And then later in it, I think James Corbin's wife maybe is like the biggest Stevie Wonder fan. So he calls her on the cell phone and Stevie Wonder like remixes the song to sing to her. And just, he crushes it. It's amazing. Like Corbin's like almost crying, like, you know, because he knows his wife loves that music. And then it's good.
Maybe an idea for us, because you know, like we both like the show Hot Ones, and you're just talking about James Corbin. Oh, dude, it's amazing.
What's up, Sean Evans? What's up, bro?
What's so cool about
I like Winks.
What's so cool about that show is that it puts people in a slightly uncomfortable situation that then makes the interview far more interesting. I was thinking maybe, I don't know what we would do with non-fitness personalities, but maybe something like putting them through like a hard workout while interviewing, like just something to
get your heart rate up,
throw them out of their element and then expose them, and then you get a more honest answer.
I was more of a fan of Kevin Hart years ago with his first couple stand-ups, Laugh at My Pain or whatever.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
I respect him and I like his hustle. I'm not a huge fan right now, but I do like that he started YouTube and he tries to push these things.
Yeah.
His YouTube content was a little bland to me and a little overproduced, except for his newest series where he does something similar. He takes athletes and what he does is he goes into the locker room. It's obviously a set, but they're both in an ice bath.
Oh,
and so same idea.
Good idea.
Yeah,
good
it's
idea.
amazing.
I'm going to be honest, that's a good idea.
He calls it like freezing your balls off or whatever. But so he's, you know, they start with their feet in and he's chatting with whoever. Then he's like, all right, let's go on down, you know, or the athlete tells him, because athletes still to this day take them all the time. And Kevin's probably not used to it. And then they all get like halfway in, then they get all the way in and he's asking questions the whole time. Same idea. It's kind of, you get them off of their PR training and into some stuff. And even though you and I have never had official PR training, once you do enough content, there is a mode that you go in where you wouldn't say certain things or you'll phrase things a certain way. Yeah. At least you're thinking about, all right, people may hear this. It's going on the internet.
Should I really be saying this out loud? Yeah. And that's what, when we say staying true to yourself, I think this podcast is a really good example for us. And that is the goal with the people that we bring on, where, you know, a lot of people might know us as fitness personalities. Yeah. But we bring on some of these fitness people, and guess what? We don't want to talk about fitness because we want to know what makes this person tick, who they really are, talk about topics that they might be passionate about. Because guess what? Unless you're so one-sided and you're only focused on what, like, you know, fitness is your life and that's it, people have several different passions and several different interests, and like really getting into that and finding out who people are, I think, is more interesting than just talking about the weight that they lifted on the bar. Yeah,
and I think you'd agree with me too. You're a little more social than me, where you like going and have a drink or going out here and there. I don't mind that, but one of my favorite things is having a group dinner or a drink, but in a small group. Like,
I thought you were about to say group orgy for some reason.
That's also fun on the weekends. You know, like maybe 4 to even 10 people, like kind of sitting in a circle, fireplace type situation, whatever it might be. And those type of conversations are what are most fun to me. And so I think that's kind of the vibe, right? Like, what would I want to listen to? What do I want to be involved in? And it's a group of friends or people that just want to talk about some shit.
Mike, I'm going to close out with this. You've watched, obviously, The Breakfast Club, right?
I have, but I can't remember it.
You need to watch it again.
Yeah, I have.
I'm a bender. Everyone's like a different category, different person on that. But what's cool, as you said, I do think for some reason there's something to be said about getting people in a group, and people feel more comfortable sharing something than if it's just 2 people together. So if
it's an interview, it's not a chat.
Yeah. So like on this podcast, we have us 2, we bring on a guest, a third guest, or maybe it's 4 people. I feel people are more open to sharing something than if it's just a one-on-one friend conversation.
Yeah, and then, you know, who knows? Either they listen to it or they hear you and I talk, and we speak pretty freely, like we said. Like, sure, we're not telling you our deepest secrets or our social security number, but we're pretty open books. And when you're an open book and you share something about yourself, hopefully more people do. And I think that the more we can relate to people and things, not to get too deep, but that's going to help where all our issues are, at least in America right now. The more we can relate to each other, the more we understand that we're more similar than we are different, the more we find commonalities, whether it is through training or music or whatever, then we can start to push some of this other stuff aside and find or agree on something, find solutions rather than keep arguing.
Mike, what a beautiful way to close it out.
Let's close it out one more way.
We went from strippers, like we started this whole thing as like, girl, you're worth it, to like world peace, where you're just like, you get back to the tonic. I call it the tonic, like, in music, where it's just the one where you come back to the foundation of what you feel your core philosophy. And so
that was it.
Yeah, I remember you spoke about confidence before. Like
confidence would solve world peace.
Yeah, how you said that.
Yeah,
and
it would.
The more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I see some angles in like what you're talking about.
Literally, it's impossible, right? We need a confidence serum, but if you had true confidence, every soul, we'd all be good.
Mike,
I got something for you.
Go.
Mama's Boys merch is now available.
It's live. mamasboyspodcast.com.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Hook it up. We're coming up with some new stuff. Hopefully.
Explain the style, Mike, though. Because we took some time. It was very well received, the logo, because guess what? We are creatives. That's what we do. We think about these things. It's a very 90s feel. Even the colorways, where it's kind of like muted neon colors.
We had like 4 logos going that we were almost stepped on the gas. And then we both started talking about off air, I think, just hanging out, of things that we both enjoy.
Yeah.
And the 90s popped up. It's kind of the era we grew up in. It's the styles that we both like. Omar and I get along because our stories, our age, our interests are very similar, but we are not the same by any means. Like our taste in a lot of things are different.
For sure.
And this is something stylistically that we both agreed upon, which is cool. And I think you guys will, it was well received already on the tees on Instagram. So
everyone's been asking us for like a month.
We're excited to rock it. Hopefully we'll get more pictures up on the website by the time this is up, and we'll get you guys all set. But check it out.
Mama's
it supports
Boys.
Us.
Yeah.
And we
appreciate you guys. Yeah, so just go to mamasboyspodcast.com or Google search it. It will be there. We'll be releasing more items soon. Also, Patreon will be set up. Just stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Let's close this out. This is the first official podcast now at the Arnold. Okay.
Yeah.
That's more like Lou Ferrigno and Pumping Iron.
I want to beat him.
I want more weight. I want to beat him. So we're going to be interviewing a lot of different people. We're going to record 15 different podcasts.
15,000.
Oh, 1 million. We're here to take over, okay? As Conor McGregor said, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over. Thank you so much for listening to the first podcast here at the Arnold. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. Tell your friends about us, and we are out of here. Mike, anything you want to say?
Appreciate you. Subscribe, rate, review. We'll catch you in the next one.
Girl, you're worth it.